What's up guys, ArchAngel Manga here, and we're nearly in double figures, episode 9 of the Sunday Archive. So as is standard with these videos, I'm going to talk about what I've been watching and what I've been reading. Unfortunately not that much. I've been very busy lately, so manga and anime has kind of taken a back seat in priorities, but I have still been reading and watching stuff. I've been watching K-On! I actually put down Bacano for a bit because I just wasn't in the mood to be watching it, and I wasn't really too impressed by the first few episodes, but I will pick it back up as and when. So I just decided to watch something light and entertaining in terms of its comedic aesthetic, K-On!, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm getting through it pretty quickly. I'm already on episode 6, I think. This is only the first 13 episodes. In terms of reading material, something quite heavy. Shiro Taniguchi's Azui in Winter. Really great. I'm really loving this. And the artwork is very good. The artwork is very good. So anyway, this time around, I just kind of want to discuss a little bit of the aftermath of the topic on supporting or being appreciative towards scanlating groups. I can see there's very mixed opinions. Most feedback was generally positive, or most people agreed with me. A few dislikes in the video, but that was to be expected. Nobody actually vocalized it. A few people disagreed, but nothing, extreme. I see most of the most people disagreeing on the last archive video that I did. A few things that just don't really make sense to me, but other than they were my opinions. I think it's just disgraceful to have to appreciate or feel the need to appreciate people who are forcefully hurting the industry, whether or not you believe scanlating groups are good or not, whether they get monetary gain or not. It's neither here nor there for me. I don't care either way. What they're doing isn't legal. I guess you could say as well it's in the grey area, because if it's in the grey area and it's not completely legal, then as far as I'm concerned, it is illegal. And I don't care either way. They're my opinions. I will always stick to those guns. Yeah, so that's that. The rest of this video just gonna be a general Q&A. I want to answer a few of the questions that were asked on not last week's or last time's videos a few weeks ago now. So let's get started with that, shall we? Okay, so first question from Hashim Durrani. My question is, what is your favourite one-shot or all-in-one manga title? Kind of a tiebreaker between Azumanga Daioh by Koyohiko Azuma. This is absolutely hilarious. This is a recommendation pick up. I was planning on picking this up anyway, but I decided to pick it up faster. Seeing as Owen Immortalium recommended it to me, and he wanted me to pick it up ASAP. And then it's a tiebreaker between Drunken Dream and Other Stories by Moto Hagio, one of the 49ers. This is fantastic, especially the last story. The last story in this had me literally choking up and shedding tears. This is a beautiful manga. They're fantastic manga full of short stories. I could not recommend this, enough. It's just so unbelievably brilliant. Next question by Hillian Raptor. Who would be your favourite author and artist in manga? For me, Inio Asano would be my favourite author. Inio Asano is a fantastic story writer and artist. Personally, I would have to say Naoki Urasawa probably would be my best author. In terms of artist, it would probably be a tie between either Takiko Inoue or Kentaro Miura, respectively. Other than that, there's probably others as well. Osamu Tezuka, obviously a fantastic story writer, not so great an artist, but some of his panels do look absolutely fantastic when he does actually put the detail in. Who else? Shiro Masamune, fantastic artist, but stories can be a little bit convoluted and a little bit confusing, and a little bit too difficult to understand at times, especially Appleseed. You do have to give that a few reads before you kind of get the grasp of it. But yeah, I'll go with those picks. The next question is from Seraph Bru. Which manga publisher do you think has the most well-rounded library of licensed titles? Viz probably has the biggest library, but the general focus with Viz is definitely shonen titles, because they're the most marketable. But they do have some pretty far-out titles as well. Personally, I would say my favourite probably will be vertical, maybe, but that's doubtful. You know, I'm only going on that hype train because of their Gundam releases. But they are focusing a lot on you know, more unappreciated demographics like Josei manga, which is, you know, heavily appreciated. Yen Press have some really great titles and a very diverse library of titles, but I don't own too much Yen Press material. Same can be said with Seven Seas manga. I don't actually own any Seven Seas manga. Dark Horse, I like Dark Horse manga. They all, I enjoy all of their, you know, all three of those publishers and, you know, the material that they bring out. I don't particularly have a favourite or one that I gravitate towards, but definitely Viz Media has the biggest library, I would definitely say. And the next question is from Immortalium. Any interest in checking out the Oh My Goddess omnibuses? I'm a little more excited now that I know they will be in a similar format to the Cardcaptor Sakura omnibuses. So they're the large trim size ones. That's interesting. So they're basically the same size as Cardcaptor Sakura and that other clamp series, Tokyo something. The prequel to X, which name escapes me. Yeah, I am interested now. I'm not familiar with the Oh My Goddess franchise at all. I don't know what it's about. I know it's got fantasy elements, supernatural elements, sci-fi elements, maybe, I don't know. I know it's a very long running series and one of Dark Horse's oldest acquisitions. So yeah, I'm interested, but will we be picking it up straight away? Probably not. As you know, personally, you know, I've got a very big wish list with a lot of great titles on it that probably will want to come before that. So yeah, it will go on my wish list, but probably won't be picked up straight away. As with Dark Horse titles, I don't usually pick them up straight away anyway because they're quite expensive. But yeah, nonetheless, something to look out for, food for thought. Next question from Kaito Fighter. Do you think manga and anime publishers, for example, Manga UK, MVM, Viz, etc., should take more risks? I know Vertical are taking many risks, but they still rely on popularity surveys to some extent. That's true. In terms of anime, I know previously in the industry, distributors have taken risks and it's fallen back on them. So I think the likelihood of publishers taking risks nowadays is unlikely, as they don't want the backlash, you know, the financial backlash, and taking a risk is a corporate, you know, it's a corporate risk, it's a financial risk. I don't think publishers these days are wanting to go ahead and do that because we're not really in the golden age of anime anymore, as I am led to believe. I'm not an avid anime collector, or well, I haven't been an avid anime collector, you know, in recent years. So I don't know too much about the history of it in terms of, you know, the UK side. But I do know in the past distributors have taken heavy risks. I mean, the most notorious one of all is Tokyo Pop. They took the most risks, and look what happened to them. So I don't think any publishers want to lead, or you know, lead by example, or follow Tokyo Pop's path. So I think it's very unlikely. Maybe the one-off risk here and there. And you know that there are you know, distributors over here in the UK that are acquiring licenses to previously out of print series like, you know, Gurren Lagann. There's a few others as well, but I can't think of off the top of my head. But yeah, and I think actually we're going to be getting Gundam soon as well, some Gundam anime as well, and that's very exciting because I know mech anime is not too popular in the West. But that's a risk in itself, so it's unlikely, but there are you know, isolated cases here and there. Next question from Net1340. Are you at all interested in anime figures or Gundam model kits? Do you own any? Would you like to buy some? Anime figures, no. They're figures, they don't move. I have no purpose for that. It's just something that would literally collect just on my shelf and waste space. I don't hold anything against anybody else who collects, you know, figures, but personally, it's just a statue. It would go in my garden as, you know, a gnome. That would be the purpose that it would serve. It would serve no place in my house. However, Gunpla is something that is very interesting to me. I own one Gundam model kit. I actually made a video on it, you know, like a little review. I like the idea that you can build them, you know, I love that part. I used to love building things when I was a kid. like Lego and Connects and Meccano. You know, I was definitely a hands-on kind of guy when it came to like DIY and you know, fixing things or building things. So Gundam model kits is definitely something I'm interested in. The fact that they're so posable as well. But in terms of anime figures, no. It's something that doesn't move or has no articulation, no. Mr. Laser Shark KH coming in next with the question. Ever heard of a manga called Doing Time, published in English by Fanfare Ponent Mon? It's one I've been interested in for quite a while, but I've never got around to picking it up. No, but I have heard of that publisher. In fact, the manga that I showed you at the very beginning of this video, Azui Winter by Jiro Taniguchi, that's published by Fanfare Ponent Mon. They do publish quite a lot of, a substantial amount of Jiro Taniguchi work, but Doing Time, personally, I haven't heard of that. I'll have to look into that. Next question from Bakamatsu, or Bakum4Tsu. I'm just going to call it Bakamatsu. His comic was pretty long, but his questions from the manga that you have still to read, and I mean from volume 1. What is the title that you own that you're most looking forward to reading? Same question goes for anime. I have a very large backlog. I choose the next series that I read on a whim because I'm very open-minded. I don't have any particular series that I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to watch that. I cannot wait to read that. If I do feel like that, then I will just watch it. I will just choose it there and then. There's no particular series in my collection that I have that I'm just dying to read out of my backlog. I'm dying to read all of them. That's why I bought them. Same with the anime. I'm dying to watch them all. That's why I bought them. So no one stands above the other because, you know, I haven't watched any of them, so I don't know whether or not they're good or bad. I've only heard of them or seen reviews of them. So I'm very excited to watch them all in my own time, but no one above the other really. Probably I'm more focused on my Blu-ray series because it's Blu-ray, you know, it's the best possible resolution that you can buy. So like Steins Gate, Pulamaki Madoka Magica, you know, things like that are in my Blu-ray collection. I'm really looking forward to rewatching Eden of the East because I've got the films with it as well because I've got the definitive edition. So I'm very looking forward to watching that. But like I said, no one above the other. I just watch things on a whim, decide on a whim. Once I finish one series, I move on to the next. I'm like, what stands out on my shelf? That's how I decide how to watch my next series or read my next series. Also, I prefer action mature stuff with a good plot. Don't we all? Based on this, could you suggest me a few titles that you got in your collection that I might be able to enjoy? No pressure. I've seen a view of Biomega and it seems like I could enjoy that a lot. Biomega is very good. I would definitely recommend that. But you prefer action mature stuff with a good plot. It's kind of vague, but I can work with that. I don't know if you've read 20th Century Boys, one of my all-time favourite manga. Uzumaki is very good. Vagabond's very good. Action... Monster's got a bit of action in it too. It's mostly thriller, but there's a little bit of action there. Action mature stuff with a good plot. Anything by Shiro Masamune is definitely a must. Appleseed is very good. Confusing, but good. Same goes for Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, any of those really. If I can't think of any more. If you know, I've got a big playlist of reviews, so there's probably a few videos in that playlist that, you know, for series you might enjoy. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Next question from Rob Chocolate. Who are your favourite manga YouTubers? NZ Anime Manga, Immortalium, a few others here and there, but they're the kind of two that I gravitate towards because, you know, I know them as well. Spoken to them. Yeah, they're the only ones I can really think of right now. Let me look at my subscription list because I did used to have other favourites, but they aren't so active now, which is, you know, unfortunate. Most of the ones that I am subscribed to are like more pickup channels that, you know, kind of upload every now and then. But I'm pretty sure there are a few others as well. Insidious Swede, I really like his videos. He's got a great collection. Who else? Taka89897979. He's got some pretty cool stuff. Who else? Manga Matt. He knows his stuff. He really knows his stuff. Mr. I really enjoy watching his videos. Who else? I'm sure there are more people on here. Sun Wukong, not so much a manga channel, mostly anime, but I really do enjoy his content. Square Slug, also cool. Split Screen Life, very good channel, highly recommend their stuff. Split Screen Life is awesome. Yeah, that's all I can think of right about now. I actually missed the question underneath by Manga Mage. Do you follow the Terraform Mars manga, and if so, what do you think of it so far? I've got 2 volumes of the manga, not greatly interested in it, to be honest. Tried watching the anime. Yeah, that's universally hated, just for the censorship. But yeah, the manga's okay, the action's cool, the premise is okay, nothing particularly unique. Next question, Noxination. I was watching your Biomega review and noticed you defining Biomega as well as Akira as cyberpunk setting. What is cyberpunk? I'm not familiar with the term. Wow. Okay. I would usually categorize those as sci-fi. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Though I know any series can be categorized in many genres. Very true. I know I could look up on Google, but I have been watching your videos for months now. Thank you. And wanted to contribute to the discussion in one of these videos. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. Okay, so cyberpunk is a subgenre of sci-fi. Usually, common tropes within cyberpunk are a very dingy but futuristic setting, very high-tech, depictions of technology. Usually, technology is one up above the human race. So, for example, it'll be a totalitarian society where technology rule over the human populace. Things like that. It's heavily dictated by a very dark setting with high-tech concepts and high-tech aesthetics, I guess you could say. So, things that you could, like Ghost in the Shell, very, clear example of a cyberpunk setting, I guess you could say, in certain respects, because it's set in the future, and that's another thing, cyberpunk is more often than not, like 100% of the time, pretty much set in the future. And it focuses on that. It makes a really really great point of focusing on the fact that it is set in the future. Yeah, Akira is a perfect example of cyberpunk. I guess you could say Biomega, even though it's cyberpunk, it's I guess you could subcategorize that even further. I don't really know what category I would place it under cyberpunk, but cyberpunk would be the kind of like default genre I would place it in. But yeah, to summarize, I guess you could say cyberpunk, high-tech, dingy setting, dark themes, futuristic, totalitarian society, oppressive governments, that kind of stuff, mech porn. And the final question, last but not least, from Chronicle. What would you recommend for experiencing Neon Genesis Evangelion for the first time in the anime, manga, or the movie / OVA adaptations or adaptions? This sounds like a video within itself, which I may actually do in the future, but I would start off by definitely saying read the manga first. Even though it's not the original source material, the original anime from the 90s has very diverging opinions, and you could watch it and find yourself absolutely hating it, like 50% of the viewers who've seen it. Whereas the manga is much more coherent. It tells the story a lot better. It rounds out characters, who are more or less in the anime kind of either forgotten about, or the character development goes with the shitty ending. But yeah, I would definitely read the manga. I haven't finished the manga myself. I'm still waiting to pick up volume 13 and 14 when they're released in the omnibus format from Viz, but I know that the ending is different from the anime, and that it is much more conclusive, because the ending to the anime is very, very controversial due to Gainax having serious budget issues and ending the actual series just abysmally. And then they came out of the end of Evangelion movie, which kind of was like an alternate, let's forget about the crappy ending we did for the actual series and give you a proper ending, and even that was very controversial. So yeah, I would definitely start with the manga and then kind of work your way from there. But yeah, thanks for asking all these questions. These Sunday archive videos, just getting longer and longer and longer. But yeah, thanks for watching. You know, again, for next week's video, or whenever I do the next Sunday archive video, which is most likely next week because I've got a holiday off of work. You know, ask me more questions. Throw me some, you know, topic ideas of things you might want to hear me discuss, because you know I'm very open. As you can see, I discussed the can of worms opening topic of scanlation, and you know that's not something I'm really too fussed about. I'm not too fussed about discussing you know touchy subjects. So yeah, goodbye.